All right, guys, welcome to another live stream. Welcome to another live stream. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Okay, building wealth with altcoins. Building wealth with altcoins. I think that's very possible this bull market coming up, this bull season for crypto. And you have to be positioned in the right altcoins to do so. Now, for me, building wealth to everybody is different, but honestly it just depends on your financial goals, your financial targets, where you want to be in the. I always try to look at a 5 year time span to see, okay, this is where I want to be in 5 years. How can I help myself get there with the current opportunities out there, right? And altcoins are one of those assets that can help you get there, but you need to know which altcoins to be in, which ones are going to put you in the best position, right? Now, my rule of thumb is 5 to 10x, right? 5 to 10x is kind of reasonable for the altcoin season, the crypto bull market. Anything past that, I'm not saying you need to get lucky, because you could definitely get higher than a 5 to 10x. But I'm trying to get people to be more realistic and try to take profits off the table before the profits run away from you. And that happens to a lot of people, especially in the crypto bull market, because they get so excited. I mean, you saw it with BTC. People were, begging for it to break 100K. And look at it now, it's at 91,000. But I think this presents a big opportunity. And let's start to take a look at some of these charts. But I think it presents a big opportunity, because we needed BTC to cool down before we start to see altcoins move. I think if we would have saw BTC break 100K, it would have been a little bit difficult for the alts to start to get moving. So I think this pullback was very necessary, right? So let's take a look at this BTC chart and let's take a look at this pullback. Significant pullback, right? We had BTC around 94, that 95,000 in the last 2 to 3 days, and it took a dip, right? It took a dip. Now this is the 1 day chart, actually. So 1 day it went down 4K, 4K. But if we look at it, it was close to that $98,000, $99,000 mark, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's gonna break 100K. It's gonna break 100K, break 100K." And it didn't break 100K. Now, if you looked at crypto Twitter, X, a lot of people were actually, I think Alex Becker was saying, it will touch 100K. Well, it will touch close to 100K and then kind of recoil back to set us up for this altcoin season. And I think it's true. I think right now that 100K mark is just a huge psychological level, and there's a bunch of resistance at that level because everybody knows that BTC is going to break 100K, right? It's not a secret that BTC will break 100K this cycle. I saw today that on Twitter people were saying, "Oh, did we reach the top? Did we reach the top?" And no, we didn't reach the top. It's just, you got to understand, again, that's what I always say: do not listen to people on crypto Twitter, right? Because we went from like literally 60,000 all the way to 99,000, right? It's a 50% move for an asset that's over $1 trillion in market cap, close to 2 trillion. So again, you got to remember that things don't just go up in a straight line, although it looks like it here. I mean, it went up from 56 all the way to 91. So, but I mean, that's a 50% move, right? So there always needs to be some consolidation when it comes to these moves. Now, the beautiful part is that it gives us an opportunity to have an altcoin season, right? You got to remember, Bitcoin and all the other coins are separate. So you got to separate them. And if Bitcoin is doing good, it's hard for all the other asset classes to do good, because a lot of money just flows into BTC, and people are very confident it's going to keep going up. So it's great that we got this pullback. Now, let's take a look at some of these altcoins that are moving. I think it's very important to pay attention to the ones that, as BTC crashes, are holding up pretty nicely, right? Now, again, I mentioned this one yesterday. I'm going to keep mentioning this one until the end of the bull market. But Avalanche is such a strong altcoin, in my opinion, right? They have a really good team from Cornell. The founder was from Cornell, and they've been around for a while. And I believe that their supply is capped at 715, right? So, and again, what I was saying yesterday, you need to look at the chart. The chart is very strong when it comes to Avalanche. Very strong, right? And I think it is primed to break its all-time highs of 125. Now, I'm not sure if it looks like around 125 it says all-time highs. Maybe it went to 130. But, I think definitely primed to break its all-time highs. And you got to remember, Avalanche has been the go-to L1 for gaming, right? They have this game called Off the Grid that's been getting a lot of, a lot of popularity amongst the crypto ecosystem, the crypto gaming ecosystem. Off the Grid. It looks like, honestly, it looked like Call of Duty when I looked at it. It looked like just another version of Call of Duty. But I don't know. I don't really play. I don't really play video games. But video games has always been, like this thing in crypto where the use case is the most obvious, right? You saw last crypto bull market, things like Axie Infinity, Sandbox, they all went crazy, right? Let's take a look at Sandbox, just to give you some perspective. The Sandbox, and it's still actually number 66, so it's doing pretty good. But look at that, right? 74 cents to $6 or $7, right? So that's like that's like close to 15 to 20x, right, on your money. So that's how powerful the gaming narrative is. Now, I'm not sure what Sandbox is doing. I know they were getting like Snoop Dogg to promote their coin last time, and a whole bunch of celebrities to promote their coin. I'm not sure if they're going to come back. It does look like the chart is coming back up. But again, for it to, I know a lot of celebrities were pumping this Sandbox one up. So again, I'm not, any of the coins that I talk about, I'm not recommending. I'm just going over the gaming narrative that was popular last cycle, and Sandbox is one of them. Another one was Axie Infinity, right? I don't know if you guys remember Axie Infinity. So this one's 85. All right, and both of them, you can see both of them just took hard crashes, right? Now this one's a really good example. $3 all the way to 124, right? So that's about 30 to 50x on your money. So the gaming narrative is very strong. Do not underestimate it. And in my opinion, Avalanche this cycle will be one of the leaders in the gaming narrative. Now, obviously, it has a huge size market cap already. It's at 17 billion. 17 billion, but we know, what we don't know, but most likely it will test its all-time highs. Avalanche is at the top. It's number 10 on CoinMarketCap. So usually those in the top 10 typically hit close to their all-time highs, right? Or go surpass it. And a lot of people are thinking Avalanche could be like that 2 to 250. So again, with a play like this, not financial advice, but it's something you need to do your research on. It's something you need to say, okay, based on the chart, based on your knowledge on its market cap and the liquidity that comes into the market during a bull market, a bull cycle for crypto, do I think Avalanche can reach 125 again? And the answer is, I think it could, right? I think it could. Guys, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. Another one, uh, I was talking about Sui and Near yesterday. I think those can definitely, do a 5 to 10x. BitTensor, Render. We're starting to see a lot of the AI. So like BitTensor and Render, we're starting to see those pop up and get some. They're holding pretty strong for coins in the AI space essentially. While BTC is tanking, these coins are holding pretty strong. So I think the AI narrative is one that is going to do the best, especially coming into this cycle. I think that it's definitely one that's probably going to perform the best, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's going to perform the best. And I'm positioned in the AI narrative. I'm not going to say which one, but I am probably going to speak it. Once I get out of the position, I'll speak on it. I just don't like to talk about the positions I'm in as I'm in them, because then people are going to be like, oh, you talked about this one and you said you were in it, so then that means you're pumping it up. And I don't want to seem like I'm pumping any coin up, right? I'm just telling you the AI narrative is going to be very big. Now, another one to look at is this FET one. ASI is what they call it now, but it's FET. So remember, ASI basically combine Fetch, Singularity Net, and Ocean Protocol together. So it was three separate protocols, and they combined themselves all together, right? Now, the thing about this one, I haven't really been hearing much, and ever since they did the merger, I haven't heard people talk about it that much. But the good thing about it, it's really low market cap, 3.3 billion, and I think it could definitely pass $3, especially with the AI narrative being so strong. The only thing is they just did the merger, and it's not as apparent what their roadmap is. And again, I haven't checked them out. I just I try to go off of crypto Twitter and X, to not for all of my information, obviously not, but just kind of see where everybody's heads at. And I haven't really heard much about FET or people being like very bullish on FET. Not to say it's not bullish, right? The chart actually looks really good. The chart for FET looks really good. So, and then let's look at the markets that it's in. Okay, so it is on Coinbase and it is on Binance. So that's really good that it's in those marketplaces. And again, that's something you always need to look at, because when retail comes in, let's just say you were in a coin and now retail is starting to FOMO in. Do they have access to get to the coin on these big exchanges? If the answer is no, and the only thing they can use is a DEX, you still may get some type of liquidity, but it's not going to be as strong as if it were on Binance, Coinbase, or like an Upbit. So this one's on Kraken, Coinbase, and Binance, right? So again, this one definitely has the fuel power to get pumped up. Now, again, my stance on all these altcoins is to build wealth, right? The whole point of the video is to use altcoins to build wealth. And in my opinion, 99% of these altcoins will probably end up going to zero, right? Your job is to take profit during the bull market and take that money and put it in an asset that's going to do well for you, like a traditional asset, right? Because a lot of people don't understand, all these altcoins are promising, oh, this is going to be the next revolutionary technology. This is going to be the next Amazon. This is going to be this. Like I said, 99% of these projects will go to zero or go back to their all-time lows. Your job is to get the profit out of these projects during the bull run and secure the bag, right? So you got to make sure you secure the bag. It's not a good idea to hold these through thinking these are going to be like the unicorn, and you're going to make, you're going to hold it, and you're going to hold it, it's going to be your Amazon, right? It's going to be Amazon. That's not the case for most of these. Maybe like one or two, but again, there's over like 10,000 coins. So for you to pick the coin that's going to be the one that becomes the Amazon, it's going to be a lot hard. Now, if you stick to the first page of Coinbase or CoinMarketCap, you probably have a good chance of doing so. But even still, it's hard, right? It's very early in the adoption cycle. We don't know if these projects have enough staying power. I mean, Bitcoin and Ethereum have, and Solana's kind of making its way up there. But again, out of those two, I mean, beyond those two, I would not place my bets on any of these coins being here 10 years from now, right? Because a lot of people have vested interest in just pumping the coin, getting their money out, and then, just basically moving on to the next. So you need to do the same thing, right? And that's how you're going to build wealth with these altcoins, is by making sure you don't fall for this coin is going to be revolutionary, because that's what we're seeing, which is it's a good thing that that's actually happening, because it presents an opportunity for the people that say, okay, maybe this is revolutionary technology, but let me just use the pump during the bull market to take profit and build my wealth, and not think that this thing is going to be here 20 years from now, right? So it's good that we do have people that think, oh, this is something I should be holding forever and stuff like that, because that presents an opportunity to for people to buy in, right? And maybe it is something, but I don't want to be there waiting 20 years, right? I've already been through 3 cycles. I find it more advantageous to use the cycle for what it gives you, and then come back to the cycle after 4 years, but not me be holding my coins for 4 years, right? And going through that bear market. That's what I've learned from previous bear markets. You don't want to really be in that bear market. You want to be in it not with coins. You want to be in it from a research standpoint, so you can know what hot narratives are out and which coins you need to get into when the bull market starts. That's like, as far as being in it, that's what you need to be in. Be in the research part and be in the know for which coin is going to provide the most upside, and which narratives are going to take off the most. But as far as being in it, the year before the halvening and the year of the halvening and maybe not the year of the halvening, maybe the year before the halvening, the year of the halvening, and then the year after the halvening. But the first 2 years of the bear market, you really don't need to be in, right? That is the time you need to do your research and figure out which coins have that staying power. So I think that, that's what you do. You use these altcoins to get your 5 to 10x, and you take that and you put it in something solid like an ETF, right? That's how you use altcoins to build your wealth. You don't use altcoins to build your wealth by holding on to them for 4 or 5 years. You hold on to them through the bull market and then the bear market, and then you're just stuck holding the bag, right? Have a plan. 5 to 10x, which is really doable in crypto. If you get more than that, great. But 5 to 10x, right? Somebody that takes $10,000 and turns it into 100 grand, that's a lot of money, right? A lot of people don't understand that's a life-changing money, because now you got 100K, and now you could put that in a quality company stock. and let that grow over the next 3-4 years. You might get another double. That's 200,000, and then you're pretty much 2 to 3 doubles away from $1 million. So you take 10,000, turn it into 100. Do not sleep on that opportunity to guard defense. Right? You played enough offense to make that 100K. Now it's time for some defense. Take that money, put it in something thing. Now, what you could do too, because a lot of people like to still, be in the rush. Okay, well, let's say you made 100K, 80K goes to something safe, and then 20K, maybe you go back into the crypto market and take on a riskier position, but secure a good percentage of your gains, right? Your altcoin gains. They don't come around. And what people don't understand too is the altcoin season is really like 3-4 months. It happens really quick, right? And what happens is you just see coins popping off, go up 10, 20x, 30x, 40x. And what happens is people are taking profit from one coin and going to the next, right? Because you don't really see them all pop at the same time, which also presents a great opportunity. If you know what's going on and you know what cycles are moving at different times, right? If you get into a cycle that moves first, then you can hop into a cycle that hasn't moved, and you just put yourself in a good position to make some more money, right? But yeah, use altcoins to build wealth. My opinion, we're starting altcoin season pretty soon. We've seen this huge crash in BTC, which was, it wasn't really harsh, but I mean, remember, we were just right around the corner of breaking 100K. We dropped $9,000, around 7 to 8%. So now I think what we're seeing is some consolidation in BTC, and I think altcoin season is right there, like, because we're close to the end of November going into December, right, guys? We're in almost close to the year after the halving, which is the parabolic year. And really, we start the parabolic move in November and in December of the year of the halving, which we are in, right? And we've already seen that parabolic move with BTC. Now, people are selling off, which is what it looks like. And now a lot of that capital is going to flow into altcoins, right? I mean, BTC just went down, like the BTC market just went down like 100 to 200 billion. So now that 200 billion is going to flow into your favorite altcoins, or the altcoins that are going to do the best, okay? And again, these are some solid players. Solana, Avalanche, Sui, Near. Again, not financial advice, but it's just things that I'm seeing, right? Guys, if you're watching the stream, hit the like button, subscribe. It helps the channel, and so we can get more content out there. Uniswap is actually one that people, I think, are sleeping on. It's one of the biggest DEX. Aerodrome Finance is kind of competing with it now, since it's kind of on base and it's getting that popularity. But remember, Uniswap was one of the first DeFi protocols to swap coins on Ethereum. And I think if you go into the Uniswap's governance forum, they were speaking on turning on the switch for the fees, because Uniswap doesn't charge any fees. Like, they don't charge any. Well, they do, but the fee is not going back to the stakeholders, the people, the coin holders. So they, in their governance forum, they're thinking about turning on a switch that the fee actually goes back to the people that hold the coin. And when they switch that, Uniswap definitely is going to go up. So I could see Uniswap doing pretty well too. And if we look at their chart, it looks like a strong chart. Now, obviously, they have a huge resistance. What's going to happen, in my opinion, for Uniswap to go back to or break its all-time highs? Definitely that switch has to turn on to where Uniswap holders are getting a fee every time people are transacting on the protocol. And that's a lot. They're the biggest DEX out there. I think they're still the biggest DEX. I think Airdrome is moving up pretty quickly, but Uniswap is still processes the most transactions. So I think this one's a solid play. You got to do your research, but I think Uniswap would definitely do good this bull market. What else? Um, I don't know. Polygon, I kind of just lost. You haven't really heard much about it, and kind of like these L2s kind of faded off, like Arbitrum. And, well, I wouldn't say Arbitrum and Optimism, I think, but kind of Optimism has taken over Arbitrum, in my opinion, just because of the base thing. A lot of people have been talking about Filecoin, and Filecoin did a crazy run up. But it went from $18 all the way to 186, right? But look at this crash. If you don't think some people have just destroyed this protocol for a huge amounts of profit, you're out of your mind, right? For this to get back up, and I've actually heard some stuff about Filecoin. I've heard like the stuff they do. Well, I can't say that. I'm not gonna say what I've heard, but I heard some things where it's like they're not the best storage coin out there, right? And the looks at the chart, it looks like a pump and dump, right? So yeah, do your research. If whoever's in Filecoin, I don't know if this thing has any more life, but a lot of people are talking about it just because of like storage is becoming like a big thing. But I don't know. Storage for me is not the best narrative, right? I know a lot of coins are doing storage like Arweave and stuff like that. They're saying, oh, well, the blockchain is going to be so congested that they're going to need to move over data, which is true. But I just don't think, like, when it comes to retail and it comes to people coming into the space, I don't think storage is the best narrative. I don't think people are going to be like, oh, storage. For me, the best narrative when to open people's eyes is AI. Like, you hear NVIDIA AI, that's the hot narrative. So for me, something like a render, is probably going to do well. And the chart looks amazing, right? Now, again, there's always risk with these things, right? Rug pulls, fraud on the owner. And the thing about render, what you have to know, it's closed source. So the difference between closed source and open source is that people don't have access like you. Like if you go to GitHub, you guys need to get familiar with GitHub. This is actually another gem, right? This is another gem that you guys need to know about. GitHub. GitHub is essentially the repository where all open source protocols keep their code. Like anything that they do to the project, they put it on GitHub, right? And you can see, like, has there been any movement? Like they say they have all this stuff on their roadmap. Have they been completing everything they've been talking about, right? So use GitHub as something like if you're watching a project and you're saying, okay, are they promising what they're saying? Go to GitHub, see if there's been some recent activity, right? But yeah, I think overall though, render just has that popularity. It was like the first coin to kind of do the whole GPU, pulling GPU power from different sources and things like that. But the thing is, it's not decentralized. It's kind of like, since it's closed source, you kind of like, it's not fully decentralized, right? Where, and there's other options too. You got to look at that. I'm not going to go too deep because I'm actually in this space. I'm invested in this space, but I'm not invested in render. Guys, if you're watching the video, hit the like button, subscribe, comment, and things like that. So yeah. So render, I think it's going to do well. What else? I was talking about FET earlier. Did you hit the like button yet? I didn't hit the like button, but you should hit the like button. And the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button too. Here's another one that I think is going to do pretty well. And so this one has to do with the layer 2 on BTC. I'm not sure how well this is going to do in the future, but I think it has the hype around it. Also, Grayscale Trust mentioned Stacks as being a quality project. And I think Stacks was the only cryptocurrency to be approved like by the SEC. I think they filed like an actual like I don't know, one of those forms. I forget it was, but they didn't go public, but they actually registered their asset with the SEC. So they have that for it. They also have a great chart. If you look at the chart looks great, and just G'd it. I was actually in ZRX too, but I don't think the 0x protocol is. I think it pumped up like like in February, January. I'm not sure it has more to pump up. We could look at that. But I think Stacks has a 10x potential. I think it could be a 30, $40 billion project. The chart looks amazing. I think it's prime for a bull market. You got to look at the chart, man. The chart needs to be on the up. When it comes to these projects, the chart needs to be on the up. And then also for those of you just arriving in, look at the market. Are they on Binance? Are they on Coinbase? Are they on Upbit? Are they on Kraken? Right? Are they at least two of these? At least Binance or Coinbase. They should have one of those. Not saying that some that are not on, but again, I said this earlier. Retail, when they come in, they're going to go to the big exchanges, and if your project is not listed on one of those big exchanges, they won't be able to buy any coins. So that's just it. Okay, so ZRX. Yeah, I was actually in this one. I actually took profit on this one back in January when it did this pump here. I think I got rid of it. I was in like I think average like 40 cents, and I got rid of it around 80 cents. Maybe I was in a little bit lower, maybe like 37 cents, because I did buy some low before, but then they averaged out. So yeah, but this one, I don't think this one is gonna break this all-time high. This one was pumping up, bit was pumping it up, and yeah, I think this one's pretty much dead. I actually believed in this one a long time ago, because they were, basically they were facilitating trades. They're an aggregator, right? So the difference between so you have Uniswap, you have Aerodrome, and then you have an aggregator like OX protocol where it brings liquidity from different DeFi protocols like a Uniswap or a SushiSwap, and they just aggregate the liquidity and things like that. So that's what they do. That's the difference between an aggregator and you. But the thing is, Uniswap has been coming up with upgrades to kind of aggregate liquidity as well. So I'm not sure what it's going to be the need for aggregators like OX. I'm not sure if they're going to make it. And I'm not sure what the need is for a token, because when I was in the project, we were waiting for them to kind of turn on this fee, because right now it's just a governance token. All you can use the ZRX token for is to vote. You got to be careful with those coins that you could just use to vote. It needs to have some utility, right? A lot of these coins, like, oh yeah, we're just going to use it to vote. And then, they pump it up. The founders get money. And then the people holding the token never get any utility out of the token. So you need to be able to use the token more than just voting, right? Voting is great, but we need to see some action, right? So yeah, that's what I think about ZRX. I already got out of that one in January. It was one I actually had that one for a long time, and I got out of that one. I made some profit on that one. But yeah, guys, hit the like button, subscribe. If you guys want me to review any coin or talk about any coin, you could put it in the comments. See what I think about it. But I've been on for 34 minutes. I'll probably be off in the next 2 minutes because I got to go for a walk. But yeah, any coins that you want me to give my opinion on, let me know. All right, like I said, AI is going to be very good. in my opinion, AI is going to be great. And one of the top L1s that I'm looking at is Avalanche. Avalanche is, I think it's prime for a nice breakout, right? All right, it looks like we don't have any questions. I do come on each and every day. Right now, I'm starting to talk about altcoins more. But yeah, I'll start asking you guys if you want me to kind of go over and give my opinion on any coin. But that's pretty much it. Make sure to subscribe, comment. I'll be on tomorrow. Take care.